Syrians immediately started shooting their guns all over the town. Everyone was running away for their safety. Some fell on the ground, others were and stabbed for their loved ones. The river flowed with blood everywhere. That night in our house, my mother and my dad stayed up late, arguing, deciding where we should go. On April 4th, 2000, the Syrians attacked our town in Foya district, a small town in the northern part of West Africa, Liberia. I live in a peaceful town, and people in Foya district were friendly people. Most people were farmers. I remember the beautiful football mounds where children gathered and played, while adults sat nearby telling stories about ancestors. But on that night of April 4th, gunshots and fire took our village and family apart forever. So that evening, my mom and dad took us into the bushes to hide. But as we entered, we were confronted by the soldiers. These hard men knew my father very well and my mother. Some of them were my father's students. They realized that my father was a school principal and thought that he has money, the school money, but my father didn't. The serious leader asked my father to sit on the ground. They gave him two choices, his life or money. My father reminded that life was so important than money, and he didn't have money. Before I could look at the commander, I saw my father's left hand chopped off. He fell on the ground, crying. The commander then tried to slap my mother and my sister, but suddenly he stopped. The leader asked my little sister, who was just 10 years old, to take off her clothes. My sister asked him, "Why should I take off my clothes, sir?" The Suya leader turned around and replied slowly, "Because I am going to rape you." Then that my helpless father told the leader, take his life and leave my family alone. The leader laughed and said, this day was his happiest day of his life. He could do anything to anyone the way he likes. Few hours later, the leader passed the order to kill my father. I quickly stood up and asked, "Why are you people doing this to my family?" He replied, "Because your father refused to give the money." I plead that my father do not have money. The leader said, if any of you open your mouth and say anything, you are going to join your father." The soldiers punched my father with the piece and hit him with their guns. My family helplessly watched our father dying before us. Minutes later, the leader still wanted to rape my little sister before our eyes. In that moment, I felt like joining my father. There was nothing I could do but hold my sadness inside as a 12-year-old child. I could do anything to save my lovely family. And because I was told not to cry or say anything, I managed to handle this tough and painful movement alone. Looking at my father's body, laying down on the ground, with blood flowing everywhere, I could not stand it. I looked around, my sister could barely walk straight. My mother was still on the ground, did not know about what happened to her husband and 10-year-old daughter. My brother then took my mother on his back, and my other brother took my little sister on his back. As we were leaving, I looked down at my father. dying body on the ground. I realized life could be tough without him. In my helplessness, the only thing I could offer my father was final goodbye. That would remind me of Shakespeare quote from my father used to read to me. Everyone can master a grief, but that he that has it. Hour later, we started walking towards the Lion border, and we saw a lot of dying body on the ground. I saw people without legs. With that movement, I asked myself, God, where are you? As we got to Sularian border, the government refused to let us enter their country. We stayed at the border for 2 weeks. People were dying of hunger, and others were dying because no one supplied treatment for their wounded souls. On June 10, 2001, United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees, spokesman came to the border, proclaimed that the government of Sierra Leone was pleased to allow us newcomers to enter their country. During our stay in both districts, team grew harder for everyone. People starved. There was no medication for sick people. Inspection exceeded everywhere. We moved around several camps during our stay. After 2 months, there was no good news from United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees people. Refugees became sick with the disease called Lassa fever. People died every day. I remember a Monday afternoon when my mother came down with Lassa fever, and she was taken to both districts for treatment. My family had to stay in the camp, and I was not allowed to go to my mother. That started me because my mother was our only hope. My little sister and I depend on my mother, but all we could do was to pray to God to save our mother. On August 12, 2002, our prayers were answered. My mother was discharged from the hospital and was taken back to the camp. In 2003, the wars were ended in my country. Many people returned back home, but some refused to go back to Liberia because of what happened to their families. The spokesman, Daniel Samuel, asked us, why don't you want to go back to your country? My mother replied him, because of what happened to our loved ones and their lives that we lose. Mr. Samuel told us that he has investigated in our claim and my father's death. In 2008, my family and I finally received some good news. We are coming to the United States of America. I was so overjoyed because now I have a chance of new life. When we came to the US, I wanted to complete my father's dream to go to school. I enrolled at Diablo Hill School. As I was asked to complete 140 credits to get my high school diploma. I gave all I have to face. Was more than happy to do so. On September 5th, 2012, I completed all my 140 credits. I stand before you today, student at Mesa College. My father loved his children, and he made sure that all his kids went to school. He used to repeat the parable that education was a key to success, and he encouraged us to take education seriously. My father often said a quote from Benjamin Franklin: "Education is something you receive when your father sends you to college, but isn't complete till you send your son there." Today I live through my father's dreams and words. Finally, I want to leave you with encouraging words. In everything in life, do not lose hope. Keep faith and stay strong. Keep pushing to the end for any struggle you face. Have faith that a better future lies ahead.